I appreciate Vi's appreciation of my legs. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I'm very glad to be here this evening. And I grew up wanting to be a member of the 82nd Airborne Division. I even went so far to go to West Point, and I got my congressman to send me to West Point. Thank you. I enjoyed my service at the military academy. But unfortunately, I had a medical discharge. I was allergic to math and chemistry. So they invited me back home. And I went to Penn State.
Good way to put it.
But I still wanted to serve my nation. My father fought in World War II, and he fought in the South Pacific. In a much different army than the army we have today. It was a segregated army then. And he served nobly our country then. And I still wanted to serve. And so in 1998, I got a direct commission as a first lieutenant in the Judge Advocate General's Corps of the United States Army Reserves. And today I'm a major. And I'm very proud to stand and to serve those that serve us. So if I had a glass, I came here a little late. I was at the Frankfurt Civic Association. I would raise my favorite glass of scotch to all of you men and women of the 82nd Airborne Division for all that you do. On January the 4th, I swore to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And I can't thank all of you, from Justice McCaffrey, who was a great Marine, to my friend David O, to my good friend Judge Waters, who's here, who's a Marine, my friend Dan McCaffrey, who's in the 1st Cavalry, to Congressman Murphy, and of course to Judge Dugan also, who served in the 82nd. All of you are heroes. I've been asked to come tonight, though, to introduce one of my heroes, and that's State Representative Brian Lentz, a man who, unlike me, was airborne. See, I was chairborne with the JAG. But he was a man who somehow found the courage to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. And he was a Ranger. He graduated from Valley Forge Military Academy. Then he went to Georgetown. But he knew he had to serve his nation. And he did so on active duty. And as I said, he was a Ranger. And I just can't imagine trying to even graduate Ranger School. And he did. My wife says he looks like the guy who played Batman in some of his original. You see a young version of what's the guy's name?
Adam West?
No, not Adam West. Christian Bale. Christian Bale's his name. And you see pictures of Brian when he was a young Ranger. He looks just like Christian Bale, not Adam West. So. But I have the honor of being the District Attorney of Philadelphia primarily because of the hard work of Brian Lentz. And, you know, many people, you know, in their 30s, the last thing on their mind would be serving their nation and going to war, putting themselves in harm's way. But Brian was an assistant district attorney in Philadelphia where he fought hard to make our city as safe as it could be. But he was in the civil air, you know, the civil affairs unit. He was called and fought in Kosovo. Came back, was a prosecutor again. And of course, I went one day with my unit to write wills and powers of attorneys for soldiers that were being deployed. And I saw my good friend Brian Lentz there. So I thought maybe he was just there like I was. I wasn't going anywhere. But I was going to help those that were and their dependents. I thought Brian was there to write wills and powers of attorneys for those soldiers that were being deployed. Started talking to him, but no, he was being deployed himself. He was going to Iraq. And we began emailing each other nonstop while he was there. My wife got upset. She said, let him worry about being safe and coming home. Don't bother him. And he came back and worked hard for me. He was my campaign manager in 2005. And I had a lot of great opponents when I ran this past year in May of 2009. And I only won because of the hard work of Brian Lentz in 2005. He then went on and was a state rep and is serving Delaware County as best as possible, and much better, I think, than his predecessor, of course. And that's because of the training he received and the leadership that he learned in the 82nd Airborne Division. So without any further ado, I give you one of my best friends and my hero, Brian Lentz.